Aston Martin Racing Point, followed by Sosa Brob for the Mercedes AMG, followed by Anadolu, who is racing for the Ferrari, lining up on third place. In fourth place, we have Parks for the Haas, quite a good position for him. And then we got the second Aston Martin in fifth place, driven by, I'm not going to pronounce that. Grant is driving in the Ferrari in P6, not that far off from his teammate. Then we got the Williams of Teal. If I'm no, hold on. Wait, what? Oh, it's JD who's in the Williams. My bad. Okay, let's just get on in the race. This is actually not that great so far. Commentation, mostly because there would have been way better ways to actually have a leaderboard. All right, so Silbai, I think you should do the countdown out of 5. All right. Okay. 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. One of the Ferraris got a great start, and not sure who that is. It was Inaudible, who had an amazing start into first. He is cutting out the first corner. There are a few spins at the back. I can see a McLaren stopping, and the fight for the lead is somewhat close. The Aston Martin of Magical Cat chasing down Inaudible, but the Williams of JD is not that far off. And we could see a few moves, especially on the final sector where there is a lot of corners. There is also a few fights in the midfield, most notably the two Hasses fighting against each other, with the Merc of Soso Prob closely behind. And one of the Ferraris into the pit lane spins around, and so did one of the Hasses. And that's Grant. Grant is into the pits, waiting for, and he just gets into his pit stop. Not sure what happened to him there, but that's not a good sign at all. Now, back to the lead fight. Magical Cat in the lead, but once again, Inaudible closely behind. JD is in third place, not that far behind, but he has a little bit of time to catch up. I can see an Aston and a Haas fighting for P4. It's Teal and Sosa Borob. And looking back at farther back, we got the Alpha Tauri and one of, I think that's Grant's Ferrari, who are really struggling. And that's a spin. That's a spin from the Alpha Tauri of Wet. And Inaudible goes into the pits. Surprisingly, I think this is quite an early call. But that means that Magical Cat got a fair lead over the Williams of JD. The gap seems to be somewhat stationary at the moment. If you are talking visually, the Williams seems to be catching up and he goes wide. Loses a shit ton of time. And the House of Teal has spun around after hitting one of the barriers. Just not a great day for Haas. And went into the pits. Is that a pit or is it a retirement? I think it's just the pits. Yes, it is. Oh, I just saw an Aston Martin crash. Who was it? Oh no. One of the Astons has flipped and it's out the Coco upside down in a dangerous place. We really need a safety car on this one. Alright, so as we are nearing lap 5, it's time to quickly recap our leaderboard. Magical is in first with about a 4-second lead to Soso, who is in second place. Then a massive gap to the Haas of Teal, who is in third place, quite comfortably, to say the least. Inaudible is also in a comfortable P4, could catch up to the Haas in front of him. Then we got Sparks fighting with Grand for P5. Oh, that was almost a spin from the Haas there. And that's a loss. And I got news that that Magical is has pits, and he seems to be coming out in maybe fourth or fifth place. Let's see. He's just getting past there, and I think the leaderboard is broken. I think the leaderboard is broken. I definitely think the leaderboard is broken. Alright, so assuming that the leaderboard is somewhat correct, Honorable is in the lead, Kant in the Alpine seems to be struggling in some corners, sliding around. He is second according to the leaderboard, but the gap isn't actually accurate. Oh, I think I think Honorable just hit an invisible barrier as he tried to cut the last corner. That did not really work out for him. And it's now a Ferrari 1-2 with Honorable in first and Grant in second. And if I'm correct, that's the spark. That's the that's okay. My bad. That's the Haas of Sparks behind. Quite a lot behind. You can just barely see it. And we got complaints that one of the racers got slapped down unfairly. Oh, and one of the Ferraris has just. Was that Grant or was it? No, that was inaudible. He flipped on the outside of the last corner. What a bad day for the Ferrari driver from first place. Now that's just a disappointing race overall for him. Now his teammates is inheriting the lead, or should I say, he already inherited the lead. Parks is slowly catching up. Oh, and Grant clipped one of the barriers almost into the spin, just about recovered. And inaudible once again. Another flip. Things are just not going right for him. And it is red flagged, as everyone should be coming back into the pits. Please refrain from getting any advantage by crossing the line. First back to the pit. Alright, so we seem to be starting soon. Well, thank you, Sparks. I might not be the best at race commentary, but at least I'm somewhat funny. Alright, I'm not really going to commentate until it really just reaches the first lap, so I can actually see the leaderboard. Huge slide by one of the Ferraris, and if I'm right, that was Grant, who is currently leading. Magical goes inside. They are side by side at the moment. Still side by side, coming into a few S's. Magical slightly ahead, and Magically is now on the lead, being chased down by Grant. Grant extending the track massively. And that really backfired as he spins and hits the curb. Quite a dangerous curb there at the final corner. Now Magical Cat leading race, followed by So Brob, and behind them is Inaudible, quite in a comfortable podium position. I believe that's another Aston Martin closing them down. At least I think it is. No. What? I think that's actually a lapped car. Because on the leaderboard it's Mickey Mouse who's actually in fourth place in the Alfa Romeo. Let me just check real quick. Awa de Coco is lapped already? Or is it just something wrong with the leaderboard? I'll leave that to the race stewards to decide. Meanwhile, Sosobrab attacking Magical, going into the sharp corner that is turn 4. What a dive, but he goes wide, and Magical is still on the lead. Another dive, and he slides once again close to the barriers. He really needs to keep his cool down, otherwise he might find himself in the barrier as he gets really close on that corner as well. Big dive, and he hits the barriers, and I think that he's about to lose for third place, second place as well. As I'm going to spectate Undable, who is now really close to Susabarab. Susabarab on the curbs. Now this is just some intense racing with only 3 laps to go. Anyone could win this, as the entirety of the top 4 are just within 5 seconds of each other. Once again into the sharp corner. Inaudible gaining some time on Sosa Barab, but it's not that much. And someone is on track. I think the stewards should probably check on that because that's not exactly safe. And Magical goes wide, hits the curbs, and now Sosa Barab is really closing him down into the final few corners of this lap. Sosa Barab once again closing Magical down with every passing corner. So close to the wall. He's really playing it dangerous. Meanwhile, Invincible in third place seems to be somewhat staying in place, same amount of time as before, so they are both kind of closing up on Magical. Subaru's going into yet another corner. Now that is so close. He might really be able to get him before even the lap ends, and from there it might even be a sprint to the last lap. You just have to watch and see. Different lines. Which one is faster? I think Magical got the fastest line. Sosobrob once again close to the wall in the first corner. And Magic goes wide. He's now lost the lead, but he is not ready to give up yet. He's still fighting for it. Not a great exit by Sosobrob. Magical attacking in the state, coming into the S's. Magical with the tighter line, and he takes back the lead. Sosobrob, a better exit. Now they are side by side. And Sosobrob loses some time, but he is still in the fight. And as they cross the last few corners, there is just one more lap. A sprint to the finish. Who will get the win? Will it be Magical or will it be Sosobrob? Sosobrob once again with a risky move, really close to the wall. But he is just narrowly leading by just a few car lengths. And he goes wide. Well, Sosobrob goes wide. He still is keeping up with Magical. And he did overtake him, but now coming up into the S's. Magical once again with a tighter line going outside and then once again cutting in. And that seems to be the best line through that corner as he takes back the lead once again. Only a few more corners to go. So Sosobrob limited time to to get this win. What will he be able to do? Last few corners into the last hairpin, and I think this is Magical's win. Yes, this is a win for the Aston Martin Racing Point team. Sosobrob, second place, a really good race from him, and Inaudible comes back in a close third place. And Grant makes it a 3-4 for Ferrari. Mickey Mouse fifth, a fairly good result for the Italian team. Audi Coco in the second Aston Martin finishes in sixth. Overall, not bad. Teal for the Haas and waits for the AlphaTauri completes the result table. A great race, unbelievable finish, and see you next week.